Well, thank you, Miles, and good morning, everybody, both here in the room and online. It is a great pleasure, as always, to welcome you to the TheCityUK International Conference. And I'd like to start by adding my thanks to Miles's, to our sponsors, Freshfields and State Street, as well as to our superb group of speakers and panellists who'll be sharing their valuable time and, more importantly for us, their insights with us today. Now, this is our fourth international conference and in the fourth month of the year. And I'm sure that, I think we have a procession coming in. So I'm just going to allow the procession to come, yes, with nimble-footed. Okay, welcome. So as I said, this is our fourth international conference in the fourth month of the year. And I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling that more has happened in these last 4 months than even in the last 4 years. And given what those 4 years themselves packed in, that is quite a large statement. So where does this leave the UK and its role as a global financial centre in such an uncertain and volatile world? Well, certainly, although we may be getting used to this new age of chaos and perhaps even immune to it, it doesn't make it any easier to anticipate or respond to it. The bedrock assumptions that have supported the global economy for decades, the rules-based world order, are weakening. And that familiar feeling from previous crises of being glued to our phones, doom scrolling for updates on the latest crisis or market moves, that feeling's back and stronger than ever. The American poet Robert Frost perhaps summed up the situation best when he said that most of the change we think we see in life is due to truths being in and out of favour. And we're seeing different so-called truths come in and out of favour this year. If 2024 was the year of elections, this year is the year of consequences, resulting in dramatic shifts in trade alignments and new regulatory landscapes around the world. And we have to adapt our mindset to it. We can't ignore that uncertainty, but neither should we allow it to paralyse us. And in fact, it's precisely in moments like this when clarity of purpose and a proactive mindset matter most. The UK has a unique opportunity to capitalise on strengths that have taken centuries to build, namely our stability, our openness, and our deep international connections. London remains the world's leading centre for foreign exchange, accounting for 38% of global FX turnover. Our insurance market is Europe's largest and the third largest globally, with specialty risk markets that lead the world. And we're also home to Europe's largest pension fund industry, overseeing $3.2 trillion in assets in 2023. Our rule of law, our internationally renowned legal system, and our reputation for legal excellence are also huge assets. But none of this is guaranteed going forward. To maintain this position, we've got to be prepared both to think differently and to act boldly. International competitiveness starts with domestic policy, which is why, for example, we've called for a temporary suspension in stamp duty on UK shares. Such a move would test the waters and signal to investors the UK's willingness to make bold changes to stimulate financial activity and growth. And independent studies have strongly suggested that should such a policy be adopted over the long term, it would more than pay for itself. And this is just one of many moves that we think will help strengthen the UK's position as a global financial centre. There are a few others that we think are also necessary for support. So first, let's look at geopolitics as a source of opportunity rather than simply a risk. Shifts in global power dynamics are prompting businesses worldwide to reconsider where they want to base their operations. The UK can and should position itself as a trusted, stable partner, especially attractive to those cautious about becoming overly reliant on any single superpower. And that's why today, alongside Freshfields, we're launching a new report exploring how our national security screening regime can become more targeted and more proportionate. In this competitive trade environment, the UK's National Security and Investment Act must be calibrated carefully, ensuring we protect genuine national security interests without deterring vital international investment. Second, it's essential to prioritise clarity, predictability and efficiency in our economic and regulatory policies. Investors thrive in certainty. A stable regulatory framework coupled with proactive, coordinated support for investors will help the UK realise its ambitions as a base for capital. For example, as the TheCityUK's report on sovereign wealth funds demonstrated last year, the UK is a trusted home for many large sovereign wealth funds and their investments. And this openness is crucial for maintaining competitiveness in the global market. And it's exactly why the TheCityUK has urged the government to take an integrated approach to its industrial and its trade strategies. The two are, after all, two sides of the same coin. Clarity here will not only attract investment, but also boost resilience and competitiveness. Third, the UK's future also lies in serving as a nexus of capital and services for new global growth corridors, as Miles mentioned, across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. These nations see value in trusted players like the UK, providing advisory, legal, and financial services. But this requires adapting our approach, moving away from a purely UK-centred model to actively supporting UK businesses in tapping these vibrant markets directly. It's a subtle but crucial shift, and one that I'm sure will be discussed later in the day. Fourth, our industry has got to stay one step ahead of the digital transformation. Markets around the globe, from Singapore to Luxembourg, are rapidly digitising. We can't afford complacency. It's time to push ahead, establishing the UK as a global leader in digital bonds and financial market infrastructure. Our regulatory sandbox initiatives are crucial in making that happen, providing a secure environment to pioneer innovation safely and effectively. As we move forward, let's also acknowledge the transformative opportunities presented by the energy and technological transitions. Achieving net zero, advancing artificial intelligence, and harnessing digital assets all offer substantial growth opportunities for the UK. And these challenges require government and private sector collaboration like never before. Finally, we must keep our sense of perspective. Change doesn't always feel good, but there are also reasons for optimism, and they are compelling. From the London Stock Exchange hosting over 270 foreign companies, to our pioneering role in green finance, Islamic finance, and maritime financial services, we have world-leading capabilities that continue to attract capital and drive global financial innovation. If we get this moment right, the UK can not only preserve its role as a global financial centre, but expand it, securing talent, innovation, and growth for years to come. So thank you for your attention, and I will now hand back to Miles to introduce our first panel of the day. Thank you all very much.